Hello and welcome back. I was going to read a poem for this, then I realized that it didn't quite feel right to me. Partially, I think, because of the poem I picked. Although I really liked it and I personally got something out of it, it's not necessarily what was on my mind while I was drawing this particular little sketch. So I thought that I would maybe just be a little more honest. Like, honest isn't the word. Possibly transparent, or I keep wanting to say realistic, and that's not really the word I'm searching for either. But maybe I'm just overthinking the word itself. It's probably something simple and straightforward that I just can't stop dancing around. Sometimes I have noticed, especially recently, when I'm really trying to express an idea, I beat around the bush quite a lot. I dance around the main word I'm looking for until I realize that my word is a little rabbit hiding in that bush. I was listening to this gentleman in a video that I found, and he was talking about the differences between introverts and extroverts. And this was actually one of the differences that he found. So the example that he gave, it was himself and an extrovert that he was working with were approached by this other gentleman, and he was asking about another colleague of theirs. And the introverted individual, he says, "Oh, well, sometimes one might expect that this individual could possibly tend to rub certain types of people in a way that they might not prefer." And the other extroverted gentleman, he comes in and he just says, "The guy's kind of a prick." Even then, that's not the direct quote. I myself added the kind of in, so I guess color me an introvert. I do think it's very interesting, all of the, I guess, kind of boxes people put themselves in as far as, explaining away their personalities or certain tendencies of theirs. I don't even know all of them. There's some basic ones, there's introverted, extroverted. There's Jung's whole idea of, he bases it all off of introverted and extroverted types of people, but everything has an opposite in your personality, so it's like parts of you are introverted and parts of you are extroverted, and it's a lot to unpack, and it's hard to just learn it for everybody. So even if you go about trying to use these things, so any structure types, I know this one woman who entered my life, she talks about 4, I think, main types of people. I can't remember what it's called, but she's some guidance counselor for a church, and she explains everything away by kind of a value set that people cling to. Those are the 4 types of people that you have. There's other sets of structures like Zodiac signs, or the Chinese New Year, so the Chinese Zodiac, there's another one that is really popular right now that I know nothing about, and it's like, I don't even know what it's called. It's just, for every type, it's just acronyms for something, I think, and they're all kind of different types of people, and I think that's really interesting. I know nothing about it, but it's just another way to kind of explain ourselves away and unpack. And then there's other structures of these understandings that are based on elements, so, kind of like in Avatar, it's the four main ones. I think there are some that have other elements. I know that there are a couple that talk about kind of what the individual tends to appreciate, so if it's, if you're a people person, or you tend to be someone who enjoys, the search of knowledge, like, you don't have time for people. It's all sort of the same thing, which is fairly interesting, because it's really, I don't think it's necessarily for understanding other people, unless your job is to understand other people. And all these structures are always being updated. There's always a new one that is either, being written or being rewritten, or is maybe just coming back into trend, sort of. And again, so they're all systems to discover yourself, which is, that whole idea is just interesting in itself, because who knows you better than you, right? If you know anybody, if you know anything, it should be yourself. Yet we have all of these systems, all of these structures, all of these techniques, all of this desire to know ourselves better. So why exactly are we turning to those kinds of things if we should know ourselves? There's a lot of different answers I could probably give or talk about or just ramble on about. Maybe one of them is that we want to know that we're not alone. If it's only us, are we totally unique? Is there anybody who feels the same way that we do? Is there anybody who understands what we could be going through, how we feel, how the body feels, what hurts us, what makes us happy? Are there other people that we can share what we love, what we care about, what we enjoy? So hear me out. This sounds a little weird, but I think that we turn to these types of books, or systems, we like these labels, is because we don't want to be unique, because being unique is lonely. And these books, these systems, wherever you're getting them from, they are hope that something outside of yourself also understands you. That you are not totally a whole different creature. That you're not some alien who's crash landed. And there's nothing wrong with being lonely. It's a valid emotion that you need in order to understand yourself. There's nothing wrong with fully finding expression and being unique. But I think that it is still a struggle that people have. You struggle with loneliness. You struggle against being unique. You struggle, or with being unique. You struggle to find yourself. You struggle to understand yourself. You struggle to understand other people. But you can't necessarily always understand other people if you don't understand yourself. And other people can't really understand you if they don't know themselves. And these structures are hope that somebody understands something. Somebody's figured it out. And I'm sure that there are people who want to figure everything out themselves, do it their own way, the hard way, my way, or the highway. There's also people who are perfectly fine believing that their being has created everything. They are all that exists, or they are in a simulation, which is fine. That might be true. You can believe that, but I don't know. For me, there's something really dismal about it. It's like, what is the point exactly if you're just stuck with nothing but your own brain? It begs the question, what is the point of it all then? Like, what are you hoping for? What are you looking forward to? I don't know. The recording ended right here because I ran out of space on my phone. So this is the final sketch.